Hey, what's going on? This is kihwaesi here. Just wanted to take a little time out today to share, talk to you guys a little bit, military veterans, and specifically. Reason being, I'm a veteran myself. I did 10 years in the U.S. Army, in units like the 82nd Airborne Division, 3505, which no longer exists. I was also up in 173rd, up in Italy. You can see my plaque right there, right above my head. When I was up there in Italy back in the days, I'll say. And I was also up in Alaska. So, I did 10 solid years. I'm grateful for the time that I spent in the military. But, along the way, a few things started to happen. I would go on deployments, and I would see civilian contractors starting to make, ridiculous amounts of money, 10,000, 15,000, $20,000 a month. And I'm making these small paychecks, I'm making probably about 2, 3 grand a month after whatever, after all deductions and all that type of stuff. And it really used to frustrate me because I'm out here in the desert with all this gear on, night and day, 24/7, having to take orders and all that type of stuff, and I'm pretty much making not even like a tenth of what these civilian contractors are making, and they're not doing half of what I'm doing out there. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they're not really doing half of what I'm doing, and I kind of got frustrated, and I got tired of that, and then I started to see, how vets were being treated and people that were getting out the military. A lot of times they were having plans that were falling through because their plan depended on a job and it depended on college and it depended on having a nice resume and having a college degree and having all these things that our economy is not really having a need for anymore, simply because of the outsourcing and the economy downsizing, for jobs disappearing and all that type of stuff. And it kind of got me thinking, if I follow the same path that all these soldiers that I saw year after year after year after year after year after year did, and they got out the military, some of them got out and got civilian contracting jobs, some of them got out and got GS jobs and all that type of stuff, which is great. But with all the stuff that I did, I really didn't want to have to get out the military and have a job. Along the way I thought about, there's got to be a way I can get out and make some money and not have to work as hard and not have to start at the bottom of the food chain like you would in the military or in the civilian sector. That's not something that anybody wants to do. But because of the, I don't even know what to call it, because of the lifestyle, I guess, and what people talk to you every day about, get a job when you get out the military, get education, get this stuff, but nobody's really talking about making money. They talk about getting a job, but nobody talks about making money. And I think there's something wrong with that, because the huge sacrifices that veterans make, having to be, not only to give up their freedoms and just to have to serve, but also have to be away from their families, have to be traveling, they have to put themselves in imminent danger and all that type of stuff, and we're not compensated enough. Yeah, you do get your VA benefits and all that type of stuff, and that's great, that's awesome, but I don't think it's enough, because when you get out, a lot of times you're busted, your body's been through so much, you might have a troubled marriage, and I mean, they do have resources to help you with all those things, but not to the scale of what's actually out there. What annoys me with the whole thing is the fact that, like, when you get out the military, there's not services particularly for big business owners. Yeah, they do have a small business administration, but there's so much red tape and so much traditional way of doing things that I don't think it's a real powerful way to be able to equip a soldier to get out the military and to have to generate income. I'm going to share with you this book real quick. It's called it's by Richard Branson. I just pulled it off my shelf. It's by Richard Branson, and it's Screw Business as Usual. I can get a good look at that. Screw Business as Usual. And this guy, Richard Branson, if you're not familiar with him, that's what he looks like right there. This is actually the guy that he used to own Virgin Records. I think he still does. He owns Virgin Airlines. He owns a little island in the Caribbean. And he's pretty much had his hand in just about everything that we've come to know, like, and trust over the last, gosh, 30, almost 40 years now, maybe longer. And he came from very small beginnings. He came from very humble beginnings, and I think the things that he teaches is paramount. If you ever have an opportunity to read his autobiography, and you have a copy of it, it's pretty powerful stuff. Oops. It's actually, oops, this is what it looks like. It's Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson. If you ever get an opportunity to pick this up, please do. Matter of fact, below this video, you'll see a link probably to these 2 books where you can actually get a copy of them and check them out. They're pretty powerful books, and I know that you can benefit quite a bit from them, simply because the things that I was able to learn about Richard Branson in those books, they've been instrumental to help me to be able to change the way I was thinking about the way money works and the way how I can impact to society. I've never really been a guy to believe in college because I've always seen people that went to college, they were always getting into jobs and stuff that they didn't really like after a period of time. And then if you work for a company for a long period of time, you got a brown nose or try to climb the corporate ladder and all that type of stuff. And that's great and fun and dandy and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like you're putting in all this time and it can literally pull the rug from under you just like that. And that's not something that you want to have happen. Another thing that I don't get is why is it that they teach only about one stream of income? Now let's think about that. One stream of income. One. Does that sound like that makes sense to you? Sure it doesn't. If you look at a college, for instance, right? A college has, let's look at one class, right, for your average university. Let's talk about like the college that I'm attending. As a matter of fact, I'm going to the Art Institute of Atlanta, and it's for audio engineering. I decided to go there because I wanted to see if there was something that I was missing from audio engineering that I could learn, right? Because I'm always about growing myself and learning. As you can see, I have a library that's always growing. And I wanted to see if there was something that I can learn from the school, from the teachers, from the instructors. So I decided to use my benefits to go to school simply because they're there. And if it wasn't for that, there was probably nothing else I would go to school for. I'd have to pass it on to my kids or my wife or what have you to be able to use that, right? So they don't teach about multiple streams of income. For instance, I have a class, and it's recording 101, for instance. There's about 10 students in that one class. Now, the audio program at the Art Institute, it's about $92,000. Just to keep the math simple, let's round it off at a solid $100,000 per student. Right? This is a college institution. In one class, that's $1 million in one class. That's 10 different streams of income for this college. Why is it they teach you to have one stream of income if they're having multiple? And that's just one class, but I don't even know what the monthly income is for that school. It's probably in the tens of millions, right? And it's like that way simply because they understand how to leverage information, how to leverage knowledge, how to take information and really make it very powerful and useful, right? Now, when I look at that, I see there's something wrong with that equation, right? If you look at the government, even, I'm not even really going to get too much into politics and all that crap, but when you look at the government, they in different organizations, they try to preach to you things that they themselves are not doing or mastering or have, which I think is kind of backwards, don't you think? It's kind of like you're not gonna, for you guys in the military, you'll understand this. You're not gonna ask a sergeant major how to be a lieutenant if your goal is to become a lieutenant or a captain. You're not gonna ask a sergeant major. You're gonna go find a captain or a lieutenant. Hey, how do I do this? And they're gonna point you in the direction based off of what they did for you to be where they are. Does that make sense? So why am I going to take advice from somebody or an institution or organization that says, hey, go to school, get a good education, get a good job, and you can have one stream of income. If you want a second one, get married and put your wife to work. I think that is probably the most backwards bit of information that anybody has ever put out there when you think about it. Now, you might be thinking, well, I can't start my own company, I can't start my own business, I got to have a college degree, I got to have this, I got to have that, yada, yada, yada. No, just stop. Stop. I don't know who told you that you have to have college degrees to start a business. I don't know who told you that you have to have all this stuff to be able to make money. They've lied to you. I'm here to tell you they've straight lied. How do I know this? Because I've had multiple companies and I don't have a college degree. You see this piece of paper right there, that yellow one? That's a certificate from Berklee School of Music for writing and producing. That certificate is just as valuable as it is hanging right there on the wall. That's all I'm going to get out of that certificate. That's it. Right? Simply because I don't believe in jobs. Jobs keep you chained and you just get a little bit of income while, the person at the top, like a pyramid, in any organization that you step foot into, they make all the money while you do all the work. Isn't that backwards? Shouldn't you be getting paid more for doing the work? So when you think about it, when you really break it down and you think about the metrics of why you need to really position yourself, even if you're still on active duty, why you need to dig your well before you're thirsty, it's as simple as this. Last year, matter of fact, let me back up, 2010, I read a book, and it's right there on my shelf. I'm not going to get up and grab it, but it's this orange book right here. It's actually the 4-Hour Work Week. I read this book, and I was down in St. John on the beach one afternoon, and I just thought to myself, I want to start a company based off of the information that the guy that Tim Ferriss talks about in his book. I told my wife, I said, "Hey, babe, I want to start a new company." At the time, I was on hiatus from network marketing, and I really didn't. And it was because I was going through some things, ups and downs, and all that type of stuff. And I said, I want to start a new company. I had no idea what it was going to be, but I knew I wanted to get back in business for myself because the income is it's awesome. It's a great way to earn income. Matter of fact, while you're sitting here watching this video, I'm earning income as I'm talking to you right now, which is powerful. And I'm just sitting here having a conversation with you, right? And I'm going to show you how you can do these the same thing that I'm doing here today. So yeah, so I read this book, and last February, my best friend, he came to me and he brought an idea to me about this network marketing company, and I got involved with it simply because I knew I was going to get out the military. I was about 9 years in, and I said I didn't want to stay past 10 years because they'll lock you in indefinitely. And I said, well, I'm tired of this, and I really want to. I kind of got stuck for promotions, and I got black labeled and all that type of stuff, and I couldn't get promoted because points were too high, and my leadership didn't care for me too much or whatever, and I kind of lost my faith in the military, my leadership, and what was going on simply because it just wasn't. I didn't have the passion or the drive for it anymore. I was working these 24-hour shifts and still getting the same pay. So I learned whether I worked 40, 60, 80 hours a week or I worked 1 hour a week, my pay was still the same. So I figured out how I can literally convince my leaders to allow me to be able to work less and still be able to earn more. And that was powerful. Matter of fact, I just got a commission as I'm talking to you. That's why I kind of stopped and looked. So see, I'm making money while I'm talking to you, right? And that was $25 by the way, but still having an 11-minute conversation, getting paid $25 just for sitting there talking to you, that's can't top that. That's sweet. So yeah, I convinced them to allow me to be able to work less and be able to earn my same paycheck. And when I took that time that I now had, and I put it into my business. I started a company. I was living in Alaska. I was staying on base, and I was literally living in my basement. That's what I was doing because I was on the phone from about I would go to PT formation and I would pretty much just leave, and so I would be there from about 6:45 until 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Because Alaska, I can market to people in Alaska all the way to people on the East Coast, so I could actually work later, so I can increase my earning potential. So I literally started building this business, and I was doing great. I was excited about it, but it still wasn't enough. I earned enough to the point where I got out the military and I moved down to Atlanta, Georgia, and this is where I'm sitting here talking to you right now. And when I saw the amount of income that I could literally earn, I said, well, this is it. I'm gonna get out the military for sure, and this is what I'm gonna do. And I was nervous. Don't get me wrong, I was nervous because of the traditional way that everybody they put all that pressure on you by getting out and getting into college and doing this and doing that. And I was like I was the only person in Alaska that I saw that was literally, in their eyes, getting out haphazardly without a plan. But I didn't share my plan with them because I understood and I knew that not that it was their fault, but they would kill my dream. They would kill my plan. They would try to convince me that my plan was stupid. It didn't make sense. So instead of having to argue with everybody, I just agreed with them, let them say what they had to say. I didn't really share too much about myself, about what I was doing after I got out. But I believed in it, and people teased me. People like little kids at the schoolyard. The guys in my unit would talk shit. They would talk shit about me getting out the military and becoming like Bernie Madoff, going to jail and doing all this type of stuff. And I told myself, well, you know what? I'd rather take a shot and do something that I believe in than sit here and do something repetitively for the same tired, boring ass results. That's what I said to myself. I said I'm not going to sit here and let your ignorance, and I'm talking to some NCOs this way, and I'm sitting not in a disrespectful tone, but from a position of authority, because a lot of these NCOs that you see in the military, believe it or not, if you're lower enlisted, their lifestyle is probably way worse off than yours, because when you see them, they're driving these big cars that require a lot of gas. Most of them, their spouses aren't working. They have all these kids. They have all these bills up to their eyeballs, and they're literally living paycheck to paycheck. They're actually worse off than you are, and they depend and prey on deployment so they can have a little extra money to pay off some bills and take that new deployment money and spend it and not invest it in something that's going to grow. They think investing is investing in the stock market. Unless you know what you're doing with the stock market, it's pretty much a haphazard investment. You want to be able to control your income, right? That's something that you definitely want to take advantage of. You want to control how much money you make. In the stock market, you have no control. When you buy a house, it's not an asset, it's a liability, right? And you know, I've read all of Robert Kiyosaki's books. I've got them right there on my shelf. This little, can't even do it for you to see, but this little section of books right here, this little right there, that section of books, that's all Robert Kiyosaki books, and it's a little more than that. That I've read and understood what's an asset, what's liability, right? And you can literally, when you think about it, the best asset that you have, it's right here. It's your belief that it's what's going on behind those eyeballs and in between those ears. It doesn't have to do with how much stuff you own, not necessarily, because if you understand how to be able to create income with your mind, it's way easier, and you make more money than you would with your hands. If you understand how to make money with your mind, you can make way more money easier than you could with your hands. Look at the big corporations. Look at that. That's a prime example, right? They understand how to make more money with their mind simply by thinking about ways they can leverage other people's time, using other people's money, and other people's ideas, and they leverage that to generate income for their benefit while they're sitting around in their office thinking about a better way to make more money, right? Thinking about how they can, you know, skim off taxes and all that type of stuff and create big time residual income. So why not you? Why aren't you thinking about that? That's my question. Well, it's easy, because your surroundings, all they know is just one-dimensional thinking. And, you know, it's not their fault. It's because of the way it trickles downhill. But I'm here to tell you, you can change that simply by doing one thing, and one thing only. You're going to see a link below this video. You're going to see there's actually going to be a link for you to partner up with me. And I'm going to break down and go over some really powerful information with you and show you what I've been doing literally to earn upwards of $1,000 per day while sitting down and watching movies with my wife and my daughter. I'm going to show you how you can literally get paid for sitting down and just having a conversation like this, heart to heart with someone, and getting paid while you sleep. That's an awesome feeling. So you're going to see another video below this video, and you're going to see a few links. One of them, a couple of them, I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine, a couple of good friends. First off, Lawrence Tam and Dave Wood, and then also to another good friend, Tracy Walker. Right, and they're going to go over some powerful information with you. In one of the videos below, I actually interviewed Tracy, and she's going to share from her perspective on why military veterans can benefit from this awesome system that we have. And it all boils down to, what do you want? What is it that you want? Do you want to have a job, or do you want more money so that you can spend time with your wife, your kids? You can actually buy the things that you want to buy and not have to worry about if there's money in the bank. Right? If that's you, if you want to have more time freedom so that you can travel and actually not have to worry about coming back to work or being in a rush to get home because you got to get ready for work, then I think it's best that you take a serious look at this information and you shoot me an email, text me. My contact info is going to be somewhere below this video, right? Don't be a wussy. Don't be afraid. You know, some of you guys are airborne paratroopers like myself. Some of you guys are infantry. You know, and there's nothing wrong with thinking that, hey, you know, I've got it all figured out. But I can guarantee you this one thing. There's going to come a point in time in your life when you're going to be at that job. You're going to be in college. You're going to hate it. You're not going to want to be there. You're going to think, man, this sucks. Man, I want out of this. How can I get out of it? Well, I'm telling you, the answer to that question is right below this video. So I got started last year, and business was great. I got out the military in March 2012. And I burnt that bridge. I said I'm not going back in the military, and I said I'm not getting a job. I literally wrote the word job down on a piece of paper, and I threw it out. I threw it in the garbage because I wanted to get that word out of my mind. I did not want to have to think about getting a job ever again, because a job is not something that I think anybody should have. But granted, you know, there's a lot of wussies out there, and there's a lot of people that are afraid of actually earning $1,000 a day, you know, $10,000 a month, and so on and so forth. It's not for everybody. And most of you guys that are in the military, you probably can't even comprehend that, because the only time you've probably ever earned that much money is either because you're a high-ranking senior officer enlisted person, or because you're on a deployment. You don't know what it feels like to get $10,000 per month on a consistent basis, and I can tell you it's a great feeling. It's an awesome feeling. You don't know what it feels like to earn $1,000 a day. Now think about that, $1,000 a day. You will never earn that in the military, I can tell you that much. Not consistently, you know, and 9 times out of 10 if they give it to you, they're probably going to take it back in some way, shape, or form, right? So you got to really think about, what is it you really want? What do you deserve? You know, you've put all this time in the Army, in the Air Force, Marine Corps, in the Coast Guard, and Navy, but now it's time to get out. It's time to really move on and live life. I actually was talking to a good friend of mine just yesterday. He got out of the Army, and he got out because he didn't want to go to deployments or whatever, you know, and he's now talking about getting back in the Air Force. And I'm like, bro, why do you want to do that? He said because he cannot adapt to the civilian lifestyle. Because people at his job just driving nuts. There's no order. There's none of this. And I haven't experienced it, so I don't know what he's talking about because I've made the decision that I don't want to have a job. And you can make that same decision too, and you can be comfortable making that decision. And I can tell you, it's as simple as a choice. That's all it's a decision. It's a choice. Below this video, just make a choice. Click the link, fill in the form, watch the video, pull out your credit card, fill in the form, get started. And I'm gonna be working with you every single day over the next 60, 90, 180 days on a daily basis and teaching you what I do to generate income on autopilot on the internet. I'm going to be showing you, you're going to be able to look over my shoulder, you're going to be able to stand right here over my shoulder, look at my computer screen, you're going to see everything that I do as I do it real time. That's working for today, this month probably, and as new tools become available, I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to be giving you inside access to that type of stuff. And I'm not somebody that's going to sit around and work with smokers and jokers. I'm about working with serious, dedicated individuals that are about wanting to improve their lifestyle. You know, if you're a wussy and you want to just take a stab at this and play around, I don't want to work with you. You're not the person that I want to partner up with because I'm about prosperity, I'm about abundance, I'm about making sure that you have the life that you deserve because you know, I'm getting that, and you deserve that. I served right next to you in Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, hell, I'm in this right here, in this picture right here. That's in Saddam's palace in Iraq in 2003 when I re-enlisted. This one right here, that's in Virginia when I was training to become a rigger. This one over here, this is probably a good conduct medal, and this one's ARCOM, I think, if my memory serves me correct. I think this is like a training course that I did back in 2000 or something when I first joined the Army, right? And you know, I'm serious about this. I'm dead on serious about this. You can do this, but you gotta cut the fat. You gotta literally change your environment. Stop drinking beer on the weekends. Stop throwing money down the toilet. Stop just pissing money away, and let's put it to work. Let's put money into something that's gonna create some income for you. I'm telling you, you can do it. If you can put aside some of the wants that you have right now, and we can put it into something that can spit out at you $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day, a week, a month, just for you. Just think about what $1,000 a day for the next, let's say, 10 days can do for you. That's $10,000 you can generate in the next 10 days if you're serious. But it's only if you're serious. So, and I break down exactly what serious means in one of those videos below. If you are, it's time to make a change, and it's time for you to man up and just do this. So that's what I'm going to share with you right now, and I'm going to introduce you to my friend Lawrence in that video below, and also with Tracy. Take a look, you know, fill in the form. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to understand how serious this thing is and why, you know, it's changing lives, why it's changing me and my family's life, why we're able to earn $1,000 a day, why we can teach you how to earn $1,000 a day on a consistent basis and have you, you know, traveling the beaches of the world with us while we're doing that. So, again, this is Kihwaesi. It's nice talking to you. I hope that we can get to partner up and I can get to hang out with you. Check me out on Facebook. You'll see some information below how you can get in touch with me on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff. My email and all that stuff will be below the video. And make sure you check out those other two videos that I'm going to share with you. Once you partner up, like I tell you, I'm going to hold your hand every single day for about 90 days. I'm working on a 6-month program just because I think 6 months is more than enough time. If you're doing it slow, if you're joking around, if you get on board and you have challenges and all that type of stuff, that's more than enough time that I can work with you to have you to be able to generate income the way I'm doing it, and the way many others are doing it. They're a powerful system. So I hope to see you on the other side. I hope that we can get to work together. I'm going to look out for your emails and your messages. Yeah, stop what you're doing right now. Click the link below this video. Fill in the form. Watch that video, and either myself or my assistant, we're going to call you, we're going to get you started, we're going to put an action plan in place for you today, right now, tonight, to get you earning income. So that's all I got for now. This is Kihwaesi signing out. Peace, love, and prosperity. Bye.